They broke the internet, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift announcing their engagement, although we found out they've been engaged for a couple of weeks already. But, of course, Prenup is in the news now because she's a billionaire and he's worth $100 million plus. But we want to know, what would a prenup look like, and what are some things that Taylor Swift, probably because she has the more money, consider going into a prenup?
Well, Travis Kelce can also have his stipulations. Like if I was Travis Kelce, I would probably have like a minimum of sex once a week.
Only once?
Okay.
Well, no, a minimum.
Minimum.
I don't know if you definitely can put that in a prenup, but I'm sure you could even put stuff like, from what I understand, in both sexes. So I'm not being sexist.
Of course not.
Like you have to maintain a certain look or weight.
All right. Be like a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. I love
Not
it.
sexist at all.
No, because I would have to too.
I see. I don't like that at all.
If the woman was like, you need to have sex a minimum of once a week, I'd be like, okay, no problem.
Like, I guess. And then you have to negotiate that.
I'll sign it.
Yeah. Well, you can't say something sexist for a full week. In the prenup, I'm going to put that.
I would easily sign that because I don't say any sexist thing.
Right.
Objectively sexist.
Yeah.
What was it yesterday? It's not my fault. Don't blame me that women have breast implants. We were
Right. I don't think we were blaming you.
What?
Let's go to our official attorney, Lisa Lanier. Good morning, Lisa.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, everybody's speculating about this and just so much chatter about it. And one thing I keep seeing people talking about is that's so unromantic. Like, why would they, why would they do that? It's actually not in that level where they operate, in that arena, that world of incredibly wealthy celebrities. It's not unromantic. It's the norm. It's expected. So it's not like one of them is going to be offended that there's that expectation. They probably both. I mean, obviously Taylor Swift has a lot more to protect. She's worth $1.6 billion, but Travis Kelce is worth between $90 million and $100 million. I mean, so that is something. She has these assets that she has, like her music catalog. Oh my gosh, has such value. And so it is the norm. And so what we would expect to see is that it would protect the assets that each of them has built. It'll avoid any kind of messy divorce litigation because it's all predetermined. It will cover not only what happens in the event of divorce, but also death. It kind of ties into your estate planning. And so, I think she's close with some of her family, and she may have wanted, assets that she accumulated prior to the marriage to go to them, not her spouse. And so she would probably spell that out ahead of time here, and it would tie into her estate planning. It also covers debts. Where you are right now isn't always where you're going to be in, 20 years. And so if debts are run up by one or both of them, it covers how those are going to be handled. It also covers financial responsibilities during the marriage. Are you going to have joint bank accounts? If so, how, what percentage is going to be contributed by who? And your daily living expenses, who's going to cover those? And for multiple properties, they have to deal with that. And it's a lot about disclosure. So you really are disclosing what your actual worth is right now. And it's important that both of them do that in order to protect it. Then it talks, it'll go on to talk about, of course, property division if they separate. And it'll also talk about what do we do, how are we going to split joint property that we buy together? When we buy that house together, we buy that vacation home together, how are we going to, and then you go ahead and decide, how are we going to split that up in case something goes wrong? And so it'll be very comprehensive. It's going to cover all of this. And it does not typically, although sometimes you see these strange prenups, I don't see this one doing that. It typically does not get into these kind of personal things you're talking about, but it can.
What do you mean?
Like you were talking about how many times you have sex. Typically, you're not going to see something like that.
That's shocking that you wouldn't see that in there,
Right.
Lisa.
Right.
Hey, look, Jason's
some
not
people
typical.
Some people try to put things in that don't belong. There's some things that are just clearly not, just a huge no-no. The biggest one is child custody. You cannot determine that because best interest of the child.
Right.
Lisa, let me ask you a question real quick. I have two, really. Well, the first one was, it was my understanding, and I know different states are different, but the assets before you get married, if they're separate, it's already kind of protected. It's what you built when you get married. Is that the case, or is that just certain states? Or
Well, that it is generally the case, but there are things that can cause problems with that. Number one is in terms of your estate planning, you may decide you want to jointly title those assets. And so if you do that, you need to be clear that, and so the other thing is that even though that was your separate property, if you, during the marriage, if you pay money to improve that property, and if that during the marriage, that property appreciates in value,
right,
then the spouse potentially has. And, if they stay married 10 years, you could be talking millions and millions of dollars in property appreciation.
But
and
then,
so you clear all that up from go.
Would they say, for instance, in that situation, if you didn't have a prenup, would they value the property what it was before, and then that's hers, and then all the equity after that, could they do that, would be split up?
Correct. That's typically how most states would do it. The equity that occurred during the marriage would be divided in half.
Okay, one more question. Is it not possible? I thought you could do this if you put, for both spouses, you couldn't put like, you have to take care of yourself. If you get to a certain point, whether it's weight, whether it's something else, then there's a kind of a deal on that.
Do you like being non-likable?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what I heard.
Nobody else. I've never heard that.
Some people try to put that sort of thing in there, and a lot of jurisdictions consider that voidable or against public policy, because sometimes those are things that you can't control. Like if you end up with a health condition, you end up with cancer, or some kind of something that you have no control over. So it's people sometimes try, and it's often very one-sided marriages. And see, here you don't really have that. And these two people have way too much class for that, I think. I don't think they would ever. And not that we'll ever. Not that we'll ever see.
She just said you're classless.
I did not.
That's a nice way of saying no class.
Lisa likes my haircut.
Yeah,
but
she did say it was a little crooked, but yeah.
I haven't seen the new one. I got to see the new one.
Can you?
So the other thing that's important that's going to be covered here is confidentiality and non-disclosure.
Oh.
And that's very important to Taylor Swift, because she's, she makes, even like anybody that comes into her world, works for her even for a day, they sign all kinds of non-disclosure agreements. She keeps a very tight lid on all of that sort of thing, and she will certainly do that here. You will never, ever see the actual prenup, and, you'll never see, and he'll not be allowed to ever disparage her if things go south.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sorry, Jason, do you think they would even admit to even having a prenup?
No, probably not. I mean, she's very astute, and he's not a dummy either. I mean, he doesn't have quite the business empire that she has, but he's a smart businessman too. He hasn't been as careful, as she has in protecting some of that personal information and stuff, but I think he will going forward for sure.
Do you is in a prenup? I thought I heard this before, that when there's agreements too, where if one side has a lot more money, let's say the marriage lasts for 5 years, the deal is you get this much money. If it lasts for 10 years, you get this much money. Can you do that type of thing?
Oh yeah, that's pretty common. I think Kevin Costner's might have had. It seems like I remember reading that Kevin Costner's had.
And Britney Spears, Britney Spears had $1 million a year.
Spears had that. That's right. Yeah. And some of them will have. I have a colleague that had one because he swore he was on his second marriage. He already had grown kids. He had one that said, if we have kids, the prenup is out the window. And he was like, I am not having any more children. He went into the marriage saying that. Later on, bam, 4 kids.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did they stay together?
Yeah.
Did they stay together?
Yeah. No, they divorced.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
boy.
I think what the one question that most of us are most concerned with, Lisa, are Taylor Swift's cats covered? Meredith Grey, Olivia Benson, and Benjamin Button. I think that Olivia Benson is worth $1 million. Like, one of her cats is worth over $1 million. Are they protected in this?
I'm sure they will be, because it ties into the estate planning. And Taylor Swift has a trust set up to take care of her cats. She does.
And with a cat, if it's half and half, you just start pulling a tug of war.
Listen, I get it. Or I will throw my cat at my husband and said, take the damn thing. I don't want it either.
Cat. Yeah, Taylor Swift was heading towards being a cat lady.
I'm
she
okay
escaped
with
it
that.
with Travis Kelce.
Some of my friends that are way more successful than us and have way more money than us have started collecting cats. And I'm like, you know what? You do you, boo. You do you. You're worth a couple mil. You got your cats. You live your best life.
To each their own.
Yeah.
All right. Lisa, you're awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. If you're ever injured, contact her right away at hireaheavyweight.com. That's hireaheavyweight.com.